Sean O'Malley thinks the concept of marriage is outdated. The UFC bantamweight champion isn't a believer in traditional relationships, which is totally fine, but with his rise in popularity, his personal life as well as his out-of-the-box thoughts are increasingly coming under scrutiny from MMA fans. O'Malley is in a one-sided open relationship with his girlfriend Dania Gonzalez, who has permitted the UFC champ to have romantic relationships with other women. The two have no plans of marrying anytime soon because, according to O'Malley, marriage is an ancient concept. Moving on, Francis Ngannou has taken a few jabs at Jon Jones, but before we find out what he has to say, please subscribe to Takedown MMA and turn on those notifications. Thank you. Former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou believes that Jon Jones is part of the very system that he was striving to fight during his time in the UFC. Ngannou is gearing up to enter the boxing ring for a highly anticipated showdown against Tyson Fury. The fight, along with the substantial paycheck it promises, is being regarded as a significant win for the Predator, as it justifies his move away from the world's top MMA promotion. During his time in the UFC, Ngannou worked towards advocating both for better fighter compensation and financial recognition he felt he deserved, but due to his differences with the UFC, he had to leave. As a result, Ngannou failed to bag a fight against Jon Jones, who, despite having previously voiced dissatisfaction with his own pay, joined the fray and publicly criticized Ngannou for opting to quit the UFC. Ngannou has no harsh feelings towards Jones, however, since he thinks the New York native is simply a pawn.
I don't think Jon Jones is trying to take something from me. I think Jon Jones is just part of the system that I stood up against, and that at some point was trying to stand on my way.
What do you guys think? Moving on, did the UFC try to hide Nate Diaz's failed drug test? Josh Thompson alleges that the UFC offered money to Nate Diaz to prevent a failed drug test from jeopardizing his UFC 244 BMF title bout against Jorge Masvidal. The issue of drug testing has once again taken center stage with Mark Hunt's defeat in his lawsuit against the UFC, Dana White, and Brock Lesnar. The former heavyweight fighter had claimed that the promotion was aware of Lesnar's use of performance-enhancing drugs prior to their bout at UFC 200, which Lesnar won, but was later ruled a no contest after the Beast Incarnate popped for gym candy. Although Hunt's case was dismissed due to lack of evidence, Thompson believes the UFC, at times, sweeps failed drug tests under the carpet.
I look at it this way. Though, this is the thing. Look what they were trying to do with Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
He tested positive, and they were like, you know what, we'll get it all sorted out after. And Nate said, you, we'll get it sorted out now. That means that they knew that Nate tested, and they were still going to let him fight. So I would not hold it against them, or not hold it against them. I would not say that they have not tried to do that, or would not do it. When I'm looking at this, I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, and this was early in USADA. You know, I don't know. I can't say, I don't want to say that they knew, but I want to say that the history, which I can only give you that case, is that they tried to have Nate still fight, and we'll deal with it after. And I know people in Nate's camp that said, no, they even try to offer money. They try to, like, you know, we'll take care of it all afterwards. No big deal, you know, like it's probably just a misunderstanding.
Diaz faced a USADA flag for an adverse finding in October of 2019, which later turned out to be the result of tainted supplements. However, it has been suggested that the UFC might have preferred to keep this matter quiet if the former lightweight title challenger hadn't insisted on addressing it promptly. It's crazy if it's true. What do you guys think? Daniel Cormier is set to add another feather to his already impressive cap of accomplishments by joining the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame's class of 2024. The former two-division UFC champion will share this prestigious honor with NFL icon and Super Bowl champion Drew Brees, as well as Olympic gold medal winning wrestler and former UFC fighter Kevin Jackson. Throughout his career, Cormier achieved numerous championships and accolades in both wrestling and MMA, competing at the highest levels of both sports. After his last Olympic cycle in 2008, he transitioned to MMA and quickly found success. DC most notably won the Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix, and then moved to the UFC, where he remained undefeated until his first bout against Jon Jones in 2015. Undaunted by that setback, Cormier returned to capture the UFC light heavyweight title in his next fight, and successfully defended it 3 times before testing his skills in the heavyweight division. Cormier achieved instant success by knocking out Stipe Miocic, becoming the UFC heavyweight champion, and holding titles in 2 divisions simultaneously, a rare accomplishment. After announcing his retirement in 2020, Cormier was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, and he continues to contribute to the sport as one of the main color commentators for UFC broadcasts. Well deserved, DC. Moving on, is there any chance of Khabib Nurmagomedov making his return to the fight game, even as a coach? Khabib's cousin Usman expresses his desire for the Eagle to be in his corner for his lightweight title defense against Brent Primus at Bellator 300, but he understands that Khabib is committed to keeping his promise of staying away from MMA. Usman has made efforts to persuade him, but it seems Khabib remains resolute in his decision.
Of course, I miss him a lot, to be honest. I text him every day, like, hey, when you come back? He tell me, hey, leave me alone. No. You know, I know Khabib, and I know him like brother, like human who follow his word. You know, like if he says something, he follow. This man, like, this is like what I learned for my life now. Like, this is like example for me, not only like in the sport, like in life too. And when I see like when he tells something, he always follow his word. I didn't think he's gonna become like coach, corner. Even he didn't come to watch like fight like in arena. I don't know why. When I asked him, hey, you gonna be come to watch my fight in arena? Just sit in front of like octagon. He say, between me and TV, nobody gonna be sit, brother, believe me.
Stephen Thompson says he doesn't want to end up retiring on the back of half a dozen consecutive losses. At 40 years old, Thompson is way past his prime as a fighter, but he still manages to hold his own against younger adversaries. His next opponent, Shavkat Rakhmonov, isn't just young, but he's also a jack of all trades in his absolute prime. Thompson has seen legends like himself fight past their primes and suffer numerous losses before eventually retiring. Wonderboy doesn't want to end up like that.
Are you one of those guys who has said, I don't want to be on a 6-fight losing streak, and people start to have that conversation behind my back as I'm preparing to fight?
Yeah, man. I mean, that definitely has gone through my head. I don't want to be that guy that people are like, bro, why is he even out there right now? You know, just taking too much punishment. I don't like to see guys who have been at the top of the game, who've been legends of the game, take punishment. BJ Penn was one of them. You know, he was at the pinnacle, and every fight that he took after that he lost, I don't know. It made him lesser of a legend, I think.
What do you guys think? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. To stay up to date with the latest happenings in the world of mixed martial arts and boxing, please subscribe to Takedown MMA and turn on those notifications. Thank you for your continued love and support, and we'll see you in the next one.